My official prediction for Cowboy Cerrone versus Joe Lauzon. I'm taking Cowboy, guys. It's an interesting match. So, right, Joe Lauzon's a pain in the ass for multiple reasons. It's not just because he's a really good fighter. Joe Lauzon has a different mindset, and there's nothing that you can do to get it. It's given to you at birth. It's like this magic wand, right? It's like part of your DNA. Almost every single fighter that ever fights at this level is directly associated with fighting, with what they do. It is their identity. They're going to be up or they're going to be down. And Lauzon's just not one of those guys. Go ahead and kick his ass. He's not going to have a bad day tomorrow, right? I mean, he's just one of those guys. And there's a lot to be said for pressure. And there's a lot to be said for caring less. Any relationship, it does not matter if it's combative. It does not matter if it's romantic. It does not matter if it's business. Whoever cares less has the power. I'm not talking about go out there and be careless, but if you can care less than your opponent, that is a very helpful thing. And I'm just sharing for you, like Joe Lauzon's day is not going to be ruined come tomorrow. If this is his last fight, which it's going to be the last for one of them, right? I have a different hope. I hope that they're both done. I really do. I love to see somebody go out on top, and it's so rare that we get to do it. I was on the Army with Clay Guida prior to getting caught in this knee bar a week ago. I was hoping Clay Guida wasn't going to fight again. And I think that makes me sound like a little bit of a jerk to say it. It's not at all how I meant it. I love for a guy to go out on top. It's just not how you're wired at all. There is no fighter that's wired that way. But if you look at the history of combat, there's only two fighters that have gone out on top. Lennox Lewis, George St. Pierre. I'm not putting Mayweather in that category yet. I'm not sure that Mayweather's done. But I'm only bringing that point because I understand that the loser is leaving town. I understand that's crystal clear. That's a marketing standpoint. That's a fun thing to say, loser leaves town. It puts a ton of pressure on guys, and it does add to the match. Now, it's for sure a match that we're not going to miss. We will tune in to see a guy have a celebratory moment. We'll also tune in to have a guy have a dagger stuck right through his heart, right? It's one of those situations. I just don't have a problem with the loser retires and the winner retires. But it is one of these things when you're dealing with Lauzon. He does not care. Not to that extent. You're not going to hurt his feelings. You're not going to bring him down. Whatever Joe plans to do Saturday night, just by example, he's going to go have the fight. Then whatever he plans to do. Post-fight party, go to a dinner, go up to the room and order some pizzas, and whoever comes over. Like, whatever that plan is still going to happen regardless of the outcome. And not everybody's that way. Some guy will cancel the party, they're going to the room, they're not leaving, they're sitting, throw a pity party for themselves. That would be normal. Joe is abnormal. He's different. But guys like that won't go away. Most guys, if you go out and you stomp them in the first 5 minutes, you've now set the tone for the evening. If you beat them in the first 5, you're going to beat them in the next 5. You're going to beat them in the next 5. Everybody gets up and goes home. He's not that way. You're not going to frustrate him. You're not going to make him quit. You're not going to break him. I do think that Cowboy has the skills to go out there and hurt him, to start plotting away, to start getting the kicks and getting the hands going. Cowboy has incredible takedowns. He has incredible submissions. If you go look at Cowboy's record, because all of you think of Cowboy as the striker, right? You really do think that. Go back and look at his record, and you might come to a different opinion. I don't know. I've never tallied him up. But he has more. So it would shock you how many people Cowboy Cerrone has submitted from all positions. He's done it with chokes. He's done it with arm bars. He's done it from the back. He's done it from the guard. Like it's really quite something to see how well-rounded Cowboy Cerrone is. Now, Cowboy has been very open to tell everybody there's two Cowboys, and it isn't the physicality. It isn't within the preparation or the training. It isn't within the coaching. It's within however I feel that day, and I've worked my entire life to have control of that emotion, and I don't. I do know it. I know it when I walk out there. I'm Cowboy speaking, right? I know it when Bruce Buffer is saying our names. I know regardless of the look I've got on my face, I'm either in a certain zone or I'm not, and I get it. I get it. I had the same thing. Every time Cowboy talks about it, and a lot of other people do too. It's one of those things, right? You'll always have coaches, I get psyched up. Are you excited? Are you, like, they'll throw this thing. I hear when I coach kids, a lot of fathers will do that. They'll literally come and say that to their son, to their wrestler. I will hear that exact, get psyched up. I don't even know what it means. You will never get psyched up. But if you try to do that, you sure as hell will get psyched out. It's one of these things. It's an emotion you can't control. If I could control my emotions, guys, I'd be happy all the time. That's it. I wouldn't need, and then fill in the blank. I wouldn't need anything. I'd just be happy all the time. And you guys would too. We can't control our emotions. What are you going to do? You could do your best to control them. You can have a night that you loved and then attempt to duplicate it. Whoever's in your corner, you redo it. Whatever music you walk out to, you redo it. Whatever you ate for lunch, you attempt to redo it. Like, there's things that you can do, and you could try to duplicate that to the best of your ability. But in all fairness, Cowboy Cerrone does not know which Cowboy is going to show up. Is it going to be Donald or is it going to be Cowboy? He doesn't know. He doesn't know. I can tell you, contrary to what Cowboy believes, both Donald and both of them are a pain in the ass. Both of them are a very dangerous guy. Both of them can get their hand raised against anybody. Both of them can do it with knockout or do it with submission or go to the decisions. But there is one that performs a little bit better than the other. This is an extremely unique position, right? Cowboy's never fought for his career before. Very few guys ever have to fight for their career. I could name on one hand the amount of matches that Dana White has put on that he stated prior to the contest, this is it if it doesn't go your way. Very unique spot. So how are you going to respond to it? We don't know, guys. That's the real answer. And you might say Cowboy's going to be at his absolute best. You might turn out to be right. But you can't predicate that based on something that you know ahead of time. You've got to just say it and then live with the result, right? I mean, everything's going to be really clear in hindsight. I am guessing that Cowboy is going to rise to the occasion. I do believe 3 rounds is very favorable to Cowboy. If you go back and you want to look at the matches that Cowboy choked in, I don't like that word. I really don't think Cowboy's choked. I don't. I'm not as hard on Cowboy as Cowboy is on himself. I'm taking his own words. But if you want to look at the matches that he underperformed, not outcome-based, performance-based, they were main event spots. It's not because Cowboy can't go 25 minutes. There's something about that. There's something about that build-up. There's something about that pressure. That is removed. Now, I will come back to the 25 minutes because it's harder than hell to do, and he has done it well, and now he's only going to do it for 15. That, again, lessens things. So in many ways, you have a moment that is not the height. It is not walking into an arena sold out, and you're about to face the sport's biggest star named Conor McGregor. On another way, is there any situation that you could have, whether it was a main event, whether it was a title fight, is there any situation you can have that is more dire than perhaps your last? Is there any more stakes that could possibly put on this and any more weight that could possibly put on Cowboy's back? Probably not. It's a big one. It's a lot. But I know how much this means to him, and I know going out the right way, and I know the preparation, and I also understand the placement on the card and the 3-5s as opposed to 5-5s. It does change the atmosphere. Again, if you were to just go back historically speaking, you have any information on it, you just go to SureDog and you just look at Cowboys' records. If you look at the ones that win his way and win his way in dynamic fashion, they would more emulate this setting, this placement, and this scenario than they were if he was the last fight of the night, there was millions of dollars, and there was a title up for grabs. My final analysis, I'm taking Cowboy.